Liang from Go Kids, where we empower your kids to learn through fun, interactive, and educational activities. Today's segment is about what sort of books would you introduce to your kids from preschool age until school age, and which are the ones that would really encourage them and motivate them to enjoy reading. The types of books that will be introduced is for children from 3 years and onwards. So I'll start with ages 3 to 5. At this particular age, there are 3 things that I will go for. There has to be really colorful. The wordings has to be very minimal or large print, so it's not so daunting for your kids. And finally, it has to be beautiful. It has to have really nice images so that the kids can actually relate the wording back to the images. They relate the story. So what sort of books would you go for? I'll have the example. Things like colorful books, big print, and very few wordings, so they can actually relate to the words easier, and things like that. It's fun, it's colorful, and just very minimal wordings, and fun things like there's a flag they can go to, so it's interactive. So colorful, beautiful images that relates to the text, and minimal wording, so it doesn't put your children off. It's not so scary. So this is one example, and this is the one that I would also go for. Things like Countdown to Kindergarten, beautiful wordings, beautiful images, colorful, and only very few wordings. I am in big trouble. Not so many wordings, lot of images relating back to the text. These are the things that 3 to 5 years old will go for. And another example would be an interactive book where there has a 3-dimension. When you open up, there's a pop-up. They call it a pop-up, and it normally comes with hardcover. So things like that. When you open up, there's a pop-up coming up. And that's how your kids will find that it's fun, and probably with the wordings like that. So sometimes this is a little bit more wordings than for 3 to 5. So parents, mom and dad, you can actually read it with them. But the pop-up is the one that is going to attract them to the books. Colorful, nice. But this will probably be more suitable for 5 years old. What about school age kids like 6 years old, 7 years old? The thing that I would go for is fun and interactive. Things like games book. This is fun. This is the one that I use quite a lot when my kids were about 5 and 6 years old onwards. Games book, fun, interactive, and it's challenging. That's the key to it. So they still have the 3 elements: colorful, minimal wording, beautiful images, but this one adds an element which is challenging. So it's really suitable for 5 to 6 years old. It's still extremely colorful. It's fun. It's interactive. Not so much wording, so it's not too scary. But what this one does is it's challenging. Every page there's a clue, there's a hint for them to solve a mystery, a quest. And they go with couple levels. The beginner's level is for like 5, 6 years old, when they're just starting to identify wordings. So it's really fun for them. So when they start, they will read, and then there's a clue, and then so they have to go to the next page. They have to go through the reading, and then go through the images and find a clue, and then they'll turn. So this will encourage your child to go on and on, pages by pages, and these are the best book I would go for. It's 6 to 7 years old. There's couple levels, and they are fun, colorful, and the wordings are easy to understand. So it's really challenging for the 6 to 7 years old. What about 8 years old and onwards? they are a little bit more advanced in their reading skills, so they will probably go for books that has more wordings. And I do know that a couple of some 8, 9 years old are already into Harry Potter. You know, those are pretty advanced reading. But for those who are just starting to enjoy reading, these are the good books that I will go for. This just one example. This is the books that I use. It's also a challenging, a quest book, but these are like history book, but in a comic form. And it can be any book. It can be another quest book, same as this one, but go for the highest level possible. But this is also another fun one, which is like history, but in comic form. So you still get the images, beautiful images, colorful, minimal wordings, but in a context of a subject like history, science. But it's still very fun. So mainly the kids look for fun things, beautiful design, colorful, a lot of images. And that's how they're going to relate the images to the text, how they're going to relate and understand. And for those who are a little bit older, and the best way I will go for is starting to use chapter books. And the best way to go for is if you can relate the book to a movie or a TV series, that will be even more fun and easier to introduce the books to your kids. Something like this. I'm sure some of the parents would know this very well. This is a cartoon series that's on TV at the moment. I think it's Foxtel or something. But these are chapter books. These are books that are a little bit more advanced, but it still comes with diagrams, pictures, wordings are still large, not small, so it's still easy to understand and read, and they're not very big words. So the 8 to 9 years old, 7 to 9 years old range would have no problem understanding those books. But because it relates to the character they are already familiar from the TV series, it makes it so much easier for them to relate back. So I hope this segment helps you to identify the types of books that you will go for, at what stage would you introduce a certain book to your kids. And thank you for your time. I'll see you next time.